So I am coming up on my 7th year of living in Eastern Europe. Particularly, specifically Southeastern Europe. And I thought to commemorate, I'll make a video of why I think living in Eastern Europe is way better than living in the United States. I love the United States. I will move back there at some point, maybe in maybe 5 years or something. But right now, I'm still so in love with Eastern Europe. And so I wanted to explain the top 3 reasons that living here is just so freaking amazing. And by the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Wando, and I've been working online since 2017 from Southeastern Europe. Specifically, I lived in Serbia from 2017 to 2021, and then I was living a nomadic life up until January of this year when I got a visa to live in Croatia, and I'm living on the seaside in Zadar now. So if you're planning a trip here or you're planning to move here yourself, be sure to have a look around my channel. Okay, so the first thing that's just so amazing about living here is the quality of life, specifically with the work-life balance. And when I say balance, it's tipped more towards life than work. And I first really saw this for the first time when I was living in Serbia. Something that I love about Serbian people is they prioritize so much friendship, family, like every single day of the week, Monday to Friday, not just on the weekends. And I feel like American society is very much Monday to Friday. It's work, work, work. If you have time after work, it's happy hour. And then on the weekends, that's when you meet up with a friend. Maybe you're probably too depressed from work to even have the energy to do that. But what I saw in Serbia is I would have so many friends who would want to meet up on Tuesday morning for a coffee, or meet up at 1 p.m. in the middle of the day to go for a walk and sit at a cafe. And there's just this culture of no matter what day it is, it's a day where you will spend time with your friends, you'll get quality time, emotional connection in with people close to you in your life. And I think that is also facilitated by the fact that in the United States is so huge. And so you need a car to do everything. You need a car to go everywhere. The country is set up in a way where it's kind of inconvenient to take a lunch break and go meet up with your friend at the center of town and go for a walk. It's hard to fit in things like that on most days. But in a lot of European cities, and particularly in Eastern Europe, where these countries are, a number of these countries are even smaller than some of these larger Western Europe countries. But you can get to the city center like that, whether you take a taxi, whether you walk there, whether you take public transportation. And now that I'm based in the Dalmatian region of Croatia, what I found interesting here is a lot of people don't take work life too seriously. A lot of people don't live a 9-to-5 type of lifestyle, especially because Croatia being such a tourist-centric type of country and it being on the coast, a lot of people have seasonal jobs or a variety of different, jobs and hustles all combined to make their income. It's very interesting. There's just this energy of where people are just enjoying the day, enjoying a leisurely life by the sea. And when it comes to work, they'll figure it out. They don't stress about it. I was actually speaking to my landlords when I moved into this apartment. I just moved into this apartment. By the way, this apartment is really empty because I just moved in and I injured my ankle. I have crutches. But long story short, the reason I'm explaining this is because that's why my apartment still doesn't have decorations. I haven't been able to go to the furniture store and buy stuff because I can't walk. But anyway, we were having a conversation about when to collect the rent or something. And I was explaining how I work every single day and I won't be free until after 5 p.m. And I have a lot of meetings on Tuesdays. And so their life is very much why are you working so much? So the second reason is that the cost of living here is better in a lot of ways. Europe is just so beautiful. There's so many places to go, so many things to do, so much nature. It's so easy to travel around. Now, I will say because of inflation and also, the effects of the Russia-Ukraine situation, a lot of prices have shot through the roof for a lot of things. And also, now that I'm living in Croatia, this is definitely one of the more pricey Eastern European countries. For example, this apartment, which is a 2-bedroom apartment, it also has 2 balconies, which is really nice. Or as they say in Croatia and Serbia and Montenegro, terasa, much sexier word than balcony. Anyway, but the price for this apartment is similar to prices in some major US cities because it's in a very touristy part of Croatia in a center of a seaside city. But for a lot of other things, it's not as pricey as it is in America. As I was saying that, I was again like, but not in seaside Croatia. I'm like, some of the prices for drinks here, especially in the summer, are they're similar to Washington, D.C., even some places in New York. Prices in Dubrovnik have that New York energy for sure. But let's exclude Croatia for a second. I would say a lot of other places in Eastern Europe are significantly less pricey than the United States. And then the cool thing about Eastern Europe is it has a lot of the same attractions that you'll see in Western Europe that I know cost way more in France and Switzerland and Italy, but it has a lot of those same things and experiences, but for less money. So for example, a Swiss Alpine experience that's going to be more expensive when it comes to a trip in Europe, but you can just go to the Alps that continue on down through Croatia and Montenegro and Albania. Another example, the Verdon Gorge in France, or fjords, beautiful fjords in Norway. Eastern Europe has those as well. You'll see beautiful gorges in Macedonia, in Serbia, Christmas markets in countries like Germany and France. You're definitely going to spend a lot more money than if you go to a beautiful Christmas market that's in an Eastern European country. Everywhere in Europe has Christmas markets. There's also so many beach destinations on the Adriatic Sea side, on the Black Sea side, where you have Russia, you have Bulgaria. So you can get these European beach experiences without paying an arm and a leg. And I think Eastern Europe is a place where you can get started traveling or maybe moving abroad or being an expat really on a budget and kind of build up your life from there. What I also love about the lifestyle is that people here are just so fun. And because not everything is about work, they can be quite passionate people in a lot of these Eastern European countries. They're passionate about football. They're passionate about their traditions. They're passionate about their customs and celebrations. And the Balkan region of Eastern Europe, I think, is just the best when it comes to this because, as I always say, that the Balkans, it has that Mediterranean flair to it. And people are very lively and rambunctious and passionate and celebratory. And it's just such a fun atmosphere in a lot of these countries. And the third thing that I just love so much about Eastern Europe is it's so safe. And as a woman, that is such a big thing. And it's interesting because people always ask me, is it safe here? Which is a stereotype that I'd like to make another video on to really explore why that stereotype exists. But this place is so safe. As a woman, you can walk alone at night. I'll speak for myself, but I just know that a lot of other women have this feeling as well, and my friends. You're not fearing for your safety. You don't feel like you have to take all of these precautions to make sure that you are safe. You know that whole thing where your friend says to you, hey, when you get home, text me that you made it home safe? That's like such a thing in America. Like, it's not as much of a thing here. I've lived here for 7 years and I've walked home alone or walked back somewhere alone at night in so many of the different countries here. And I've never feared for my life. And I can think of numerous times where I've been in that parallel situation in other countries that I've lived in where I was terrified for my life. Like United States, I have a particular story in my mind that I'm thinking of when I lived in Australia, which was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Even last year, in the middle of the day, when I was back in the United States to visit my family, I went running in the middle of the day, and a scary big black SUV just kept following me around. I was like, oh my God, they are truly going to kidnap me. And it's like the middle of the day in the United States is more terrifying for a woman than night in Eastern Europe. And that's when you know that Eastern Europe is just so much safer. And there's so much statistics about how Eastern European countries are so safe and crime rates are so low. And that's something that I really, really appreciate about living here. None of us want to be a true crime story. So, but yeah, let's end this on a positive note. I love Eastern Europe. So if you're planning a trip here, again, peruse around my channel and let me know any questions that you have about potentially moving here if you're interested in that as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.